Yo, it's your boy TT Ken. Welcome back to another Pokemon Draft League video. Today, we're going over our APM Unleague playoff quarterfinals match versus MC Griddle. Now, if you remember from our last APM video, we did face MC Griddle in week 1. That was a couple of weeks back, but he managed to get to playoffs, and I managed also to get to playoffs, of course. And we'll face each other again. So, you might see this team and be like, oh, this looks a bit familiar because this was the team I used in my YouTube video. Like, I replaced Blossom with Tangela because Blossom was just not doing anything at all for me, honestly. Like, Blossom was so bad throughout the play-ins period. Like, it wasn't, but like Tangler Eviolite Regenerator is such a good lower tier defensive mon compared to Blossom. Like, Blossom might have much more special defense and strength set, but Tangler's overall physical bulk, Eviolite Regenerator, just makes it a better bulky grass type, and I definitely needed Tangler in this. Basically, in the entire draft, I just needed Tangler, to be fair. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So we're up against MC Griddle again, and like, as you can see, they have some different mons this time. They obviously kept Basculin, Frostmoth, Ninetales. They kept these 5 and just swapped out Ordino for Leafeon, which they didn't do last time. And honestly, like, they really lost week 1 because Kingler kind of went in and they didn't have Leafeon, which I was even expecting back in week 1, but they didn't bring it. I was like, Kingler's just gonna destroy this team then. But they actually have Leafeon here, so I'm just like, cool. Kingler's not automatically just going to win the game if it gets off in agility, but I didn't even go agility Kingler this game. I decided to go Choice Scarf because I needed a speed control for Frostmoth, this Pokemon, which was very annoying, but you'll see how that ends up anyway as the replay goes on. But before I go into this replay, if you guys are enjoying the content lately, all of the Rivals to the Top stuff, like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Again, we've passed our year goal of 150 subs, but if I could somehow get to 200 by the end of the year, that would be insane from you guys. But either way, let's get into this now. Going into this matchup, this lead matchup, I'm just like, cool. I led off with Machoke last time, and I don't really want to do that again because I doubt they'll lead off with Palos and again either. So I could just lead off with Kingler because Kingler is always good. Like, it has a very strong matchup versus pretty much everything here. Like, you do massive damage to Basculin, you have type matchup against Ninetales. I also have X-Sizzle for Malamar, Leafeon, also, Liquidation for Palossand, and I do have the potential to be running Rock Slide for Frostmoth. So either way, like, Kingler's like my best option, to be honest. So they lead off with Malamar, and they instantly, like, they took a while. Like, obviously replays don't show how long turns are, like, in between the wait between turns, but he stood there for a little while because I was clicking X's, or I was expecting Leafeon to come in. Now I could have clicked knockoff very easily, but I was just like, he might be a bulky Malamar that's able to live liquidation, since I'm not even life orb. It's still sheer force boosted, which does a lot of damage, but at the same time I'm just like, yeah, Malamar could live. I don't want to really lose my Scarf. It could really help out in the late game. So I decided to just raw X-Sizzle because I'm just like, there's no way Malamar survives a ×4 X-Sizzle from a Pokemon such as Kingler, So they go Ninetales, which is a ballsy play. Who would have thought switching in Ninetales? Like, what if I liquidated there? Like, Ninetales was gone, and I suppose that would have let in Leafeon. Like, I don't have 2 Leafeon checks in the first place, but that would have let in Leafeon. So I'm surprised they went Ninetales anyway. I was expecting Leafeon because that does have the bulk to, take an X-Scissor. So X-Scissor comes out, does 24, which is okay. I go Torkoal because I'm just like, I want to see what they do. They obviously click the grass move, which Oku's Kingler there, so Energy Wall comes out, and I did a Calx. 13 is just typical max attack, max special attack Ninetales, which is perfectly fine with me because I can just get on rocks. Dark Pulse doesn't even do too much anyway. Like, Torkoal still has decent special bulk, like, even though he's known for his massive Fizz Death stat, but I go for the Body Press, does a solid 2-hit KO damage, and I swap out into Machoke because obviously that -2, and my Machoke is, kind of bulky because of Eviolite. So knockoff is the freest move in the game here, and it does 30. So again, Machoke just showing his massive damage output, like, with minimal investment. This is a Pokemon with like base 100 attack, so it does a lot of work versus, like, the overall power level of relative to the draft. So they knock off the Maranga Berry, which I forget what it does, but it clearly didn't do anything here because I've knocked it off clearly. So I Toxic Palossand as they get on rocks. Either way, Toxic or something was you know, I was expecting that, but Rox is obviously the better play. But you know, I have a Magic Guard, Pokemon, Boots, Torkoal, Boots, Chatter. Like Rox hardly affects me at all this game. But either way, getting Toxic on Palo Sand is very useful for me. So I go Chatter, and I knew that they would recover there, and I also knew the next move that this Palo Sand was going to do as I proceed to Nasty Plot. So they go for the Ancient Power, which is what I was expecting in prep anyway. I was just like, cool. Palo Sand is pretty much like free, you know, setup fodder for Chatter. They're probably running Ancient Power to actually do something. Now, they're clearly like max defense from the damage that Machoke did. So, zero special attack investment means Ancient Power doesn't kill Chatter, despite, you know, it's like negative bulk. So, you know, I'm expecting Chatter to kill here, but you know I low rolled and get a guarantee confusion, and Palosan hits itself in confusion. So yeah, the funny thing is for this, like all confusion moves are banned, like Teeter Dance, Confuser is banned, but not Chatter. And I've broken the system, low key. But obviously going to my Machoke here because I've prepped this Machoke for any sort of Basculin set, and they decide to flip turn on me. Does like no damage, and it's just another knockoff again because like there's no reason for me to click CC. I'm just gonna get rid of everything's item. So I go Tangler here on the Leafeon, and they elite seed me, so it's like bulky Leafeon. But I was really conflicted here because I was like, I'm this close to clicking Sludge Bomb because I don't want them going hard Frostmoth. That's like the one thing I don't want them to do because it's a very hard thing to manage Frostmoth once it gets a Quiver Dance up. Like Torkoal's too low to take a Bug Buzz or Ice Beam, so I needed to be careful not letting Frostmoth in freely. So I had to go Chatter on like the Synthesis or them doubling into Frostmoth on my Tangler to try and set up because I do have Heat Wave on this, and yeah, it'll get to +1, and then from that position Scarf Kingler can still outspeed Frostmoth. So they decide to knock me off there. Chatter goes down, obviously, and I'm just like, cool, I don't need Chatter. But I go Torkoal, they protect to see what I do. I'm obviously body pressing here. They're probably trying to scout what I was doing because, again, Ninetales have Flash Fire. They, like, like in the situation where they will boot Ninetales and like they come in at 25 and like they can recover if their last move is Morning Sun. I didn't really want to be in a situation like that, so press is the only thing I can realistically click here, and obviously press still does a lot of damage to everything overall on their team. But here I decided I knew Knockoff would never kill Torkoal. It doesn't matter, like Knockoff would never kill Torkoal and max defense. And I go for Flamethrower here because I knew they weren't going to go Ninetales. I just had a feeling in my head they weren't going to do that. So Torkoal's done his job of getting rid of Leafeon, which I'm happy about. So Kingler still has a good time. So I sack my Torkoal there. He's done his job. I threaten out Basculin, and they were not Boots Ninetales. I did the damage calc. They were like Charcoal. Which was pretty cool. But either way, Malamar comes in, and I'm afraid this is Scarf because why would you go hard this in the first game? Malamar died to Signal Beam, so I'm expecting another like Choice Scarf, and Machoke is just there to scout that out. But yeah, as you'll see in this next turn, he wasn't Scarf Malamar, which I'm like, cool, Kadabra just goes in again. So I bring in Kadabra here, and I Signal Beam the Malamar, which obviously means I kill it because it's 4 times weak to Bug. And Frostmoth comes in, and I go for the Fire Punch tech, which crits. I go for the Fire Punch tech that crits. It's insane. It's insane. I like Lightfall Fire Punch is a guaranteed 2-hit KO on Frostmoth, but I was not expecting, the crit there to Oko it completely, and it's just a funny thing, honestly. But yeah, Basculin's the last Pokemon, and obviously Kadabra's out is faster than it because he's not, he's not Scarf Basculin. But yeah, I managed to win again versus MC Griddle. Now, like, I'll leave the Discord, not beef, but tilt out of this, to be honest. Like, he did kind of say I was lucky in these situations. If I can show you guys the chat quickly. Yeah, it would require me to move around my OBS settings a bit, but yeah, he just said literally no luck in my favor. I got lucky. The guarantee confusion move that into 1 in 3. I don't know, like if that's really lucky. I mean, I'm guaranteed the confusion, but not the. It's still 33%, which is pretty low in your. Like, you could say I'm lucky, but at the end of the day, like as Lavos has said in the legendary quote, paragraph 1, line 3, my preparation was superior and my play was superior. I just think that applied to this game completely. I feel like compared to, we've faced each other in week 1, and I feel like they didn't really do enough to really like try and improve their odds in this matchup. Like Elo Kadabra was still something that messed them up. Malama again did nothing in this game. Uh, they didn't go any like good basculin set. Like I feel like I would have been a lot more pressured. It feels like a choice basculin set or like scarf or something. It was just like I don't even know what item it was running. It could have been running Mystic Water for all I know. I really don't know what item basculin was running. The only thing that they really changed was getting rid of Ordino, which in like Ordino versus Leafeon, like Leafeon's obviously the better pick, so you don't get folded by Kingler. But at the end of the day, I feel like they didn't really do enough to maximize their chances in this matchup. Like we've played each other before, so you should know. Like I literally brought the same team. Like I literally brought the same team just with a different grass type. Like surely you could have prepped better against that, especially in a playoffs position where you want to try and see how far you can get. Like I prep for every single possibility. You know, my Machoke was going Chinese. I decided to go Scarf Kingler instead of Agility because I feel like I would have a harder time if they went Leafeon this time around, because they clearly knew that Leafeon was better the second time round rather than the first time. Like they didn't bring in the first game, so they obviously struggled a lot more versus Kingler. I still brought like Chatter, and again like they had nothing really that could handle a boosted Chatter once it like they would have to sack one of the defensive Pokemon, the slow Pokemon, and get him Basculin again. And again, like I've prepped for Basculin because it's a pain in the ass. But either way, like that's just how draft works, you know. Like you kind of just have to like prep as hard as you can and like just get the best possible matchup you can. Like really think about it. And I just feel like for the second game versus him, he really didn't prep outside of just swapping out Ordino for Leafeon. Like he did nothing changed for him, to be honest. Like he was probably running the same exact Ninetales set in the first game, and I didn't see that set because Kingler Agility +2 just killed it in one hit. And like I don't know what he could have brought over Malamar, but Malamar again just did nothing this game. So yeah, that's just how it goes. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. Just a quick analysis at the end of my opponent and just my general thoughts on the game, because really like I might have gotten lucky on some things, but either way, like the whole neutral. I'm using neutral game like this is a fighter game, but the whole like game that I was playing, the mid game, the early game, like I just felt like I had the advantage the entire time because I just prepped better. So that's what you can do. But yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.